To start off the show, Mel K is here. She spent 20 years in media, film, and investigative journalism in Hollywood before moving to New York City to launch her podcast, The Mel K Show. The show addresses issues of one world government, increased surveillance, and the ongoing effort to increase centralized control of our lives. Last year saw the release of her best-selling American Anonymous book. There it is right there. Restoring Power to the People, One Citizen at a Time. Welcome back to the show, Mel K. Hey, Mel, how are you?
Hey, thank you. Great to see you. Great to be back. Crazy times, and I'm working on a new book now that's even more disturbing. So,
Oh my God, what's that about? You want to tell
well,
us?
yeah, sure. I'm working on right now, and I'm looking forward to putting it out because I really had to dig into the years between 1944 and 1954, when I think our country really was fully captured and captured from the highest level, the international banking cartel out of Switzerland and Wall Street and City of London, and the international organizations all gave themselves immunity. A lot of things happened in that period of time while we were celebrating a supposed win of World War II. I don't think that that's really what happened. And I also believe that World War III, or what we're seeing now, was actually planned before World War II even supposedly ended. So a lot of disturbing stuff about our own country, particularly CIA and the State Department under the Dulles brothers. I think there's a lot of information about our country we don't know that is connected to COVID, which is why we have to get to the bottom of it. That's connected to, what happened to this nation and where we are now.
Boy, the Dulles brothers, bad actors.
Big time.
They're bad actors, certainly involved in the JFK assassination or the cover-up of, or both.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even worse. I mean, this is something a lot of people don't know that I'm digging into. During the World War II, while our soldiers were fighting in Europe, 60 million people affected, murdered, just pillaged, all the things. They were all in Switzerland. Not just the Dulles brothers, who were both lawyers from Wall Street, from Sullivan and Cromwell, but also the guy running the Bank of International Settlements was also an American banker, McKittrick. And frankly, it looks like they were taking money. The international banks, but also things like IG Farben, which I don't think is talked about enough, and the Standard Oil, and a lot of American companies, or supposed American companies, had one foot in Germany and one foot in America, and were laundering billions of dollars out of Germany through the Bank of International Settlements, at the same time creating the CIA and a new State Department. And I'm at a point where I believe the CIA actually has always worked for the international banks, not really for the people of any country.
That actually makes more sense than anything I've heard. And, I just heard about how, America financed Hitler. And
Oh, yeah.
to the point where Ford Motor Company was making tanks and making trucks and stuff for Hitler. And the United States actually bombed a Ford factory in Germany. Ford sued the United States for bombing their factory where they were making trucks not for Hitler, and they won that lawsuit. Do you know about that?
Yeah, I know about that, and I know about a lot of the multinational corporations. In fact, IG Farben, which trusts the science, trusts the doctors. 100 IG Farben, which was the biggest pharmaceutical company in the world that got all split up into smaller ones. 100 people were charged connected to IG Farben, including the CEO and everyone else. They were doing deals with Standard Oil, which is obviously Rockefeller's oil in New Jersey, all during it. And frankly, Chase gave Germany about now it would be an amazing amount of money, but $100 million, it looks like, to rebuild their military bases and their military strength. And a lot of companies had, like I said, one foot in America, one foot in Germany. And at the same time, Wall Street is all involved. All the banks are involved in planning the post-World War II financial system. So I believe now that, and George H.W. Bush's father, Prescott Bush, got in trouble. He was arrested for doing business with 3 Nazi bankers. The head of the Nazi bank was having dinner with the Dulles brothers in Switzerland. In fact, Alan Dulles, who goes on to be the notorious CIA head, spent almost the entire war in Switzerland dealing with banking and international corporations. So when we look at the global public-private partnership that seems to have captured our nation, and frankly, I think the military-industrial complex, it makes a lot more sense that these people have been running the world like a parent company, giving us the illusion that we are still a sovereign nation for the people, by the people, when in fact, I believe that it was planned during World War II that was never going to be the case again.
Well, would you get this book out already? What are you waiting for?
No, and it'll be soon, because I know, you talk a lot about the COVID and that there needs to be responsibility. It was obviously a global scale thing. But what a lot of people don't know is Gavi, which is obviously Bill Gates' foray into vaccines, and a lot of these other organizations, the World Health Organization, they all at that same time in 1945 got immunity. So there is still intact today in International Organization Immunity Act of 1945 that protects all the central banks, particularly the very opaque Bank of International Settlements, World Bank, IMF, and the World Trade Organization, but also protects Gavi and the World Health Organization. So all of these people in that time period of 44 to 54 that they built the UN tentacles, they all gave themselves total immunity to never be investigated. Still. So a lot of people don't understand why they're not investigating the World Health Organization. I think right now that there are immunities in place that don't allow it, and we should be rescinding that ability.
100% agree with you. I did not know that Gavi. I didn't know but people don't also know about the Bank of International Settlements is the bank of all banks.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So they are actually their own country. They have sovereignty as a country, and which means that you can't subpoena them, you can't do anything, and they get to write their own rules. And the Bank of Internet. We had Catherine Fitz on, and she brought up.
Oh, great!
She brought up the Bank of International Settlements, and people have no idea. Every war is a banker war. Banks have funded the same banks have funded both sides of almost every war. So, Right now, it's the same thing, because it's not an accident that the day that Trump meets with Putin for the first time that he's allowed since 2016 in the Arctic, they elevate Larry Fink to the top of the World Economic Forum, which might as well be the PR firm for Agenda 2030. So this is a war that is being fought well above us while we're down here in a color revolution fighting each other, when really, if you believe in freedom and everything that we're supposed to stand for, we're all on the same side. America is the last stand for freedom, and it's dwindling very fast. October 19th, we'll be in Irvine, California. We'll be in Australia. Then we'll be in Burbank, California, the day after Thanksgiving. And then Pottstown, Pennsylvania, December 6th. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.